Thank you very much. My name is Awake Bekele, and this is Classical Political Thought, Department of Political Science and International Relations. Understanding political thought, the notion of political thought, conceptualizing, understanding the notion of political thought. So, what is political thought? Political thought refers to the core or the foundations of the discipline of political science as it provides a theoretical, conceptual, moral, and philosophical foundations of the political concepts. Therefore, political thought is both as is seen as both the branch of political science, just like any other disciplines of the political science, the other course of the discipline of political science, you can say international relations, comparative politics, government studies, and others. And on the other hand, political thought is the foundation, the core of the political science. So many argue that political thought is nothing but political philosophy, as both deal with the historical study of the evolution of the fundamental concepts, methods, and theoretical prepositions relating to the political universe, as found in the writings of the philosophers and the thinkers of the past. So political philosophy adopts a rational or thoughtful approach to political problems. Generally speaking, political thoughts, political philosophy, and political theory are terms often used interchangeably to mean the study of philosophical texts related to politics, but there is a difference. There are differences among them, among political thought, political philosophy, and political theory. So, what are these differences? First, political thought. Political thought refers to the general thought comprising of theories and values of all those persons or sections of the community who think and write on the day-to-day activities, policies, and decisions of the states, and which has a bearing on our present living. These persons can be philosophers, writers, poets, political commentators, and others. So, and most probably those political thinkers and philosophers. So, whenever and wherever political and social institutions exist, there are bound to be political activities as well as problems. Some individuals in society where these institutions exist are bound to concern themselves with these problems. Whenever there are political activities, there is bound to be thought. Political activities go hand in hand with political thought. So it loosely covers any abstract thought about politics, law, and society. So, political thought is therefore defined as an aspect of the ways in which people in a given political area behave towards themselves and political institutions of the society. It deals with political matters in a manner that is meant to be relevant for political life. Therefore, it is subject. That means the subject matter of political thought must be identical with the goals of what we call good life. Political thought involves the exposition of political ideas. These ideas and languages inform our understandings of the concepts like citizenship and shape our social and political ideals. There is no better way of making ourselves aware of the precise meaning and nuances of the terms involved than becoming acquainted with the key thinkers who help to shape the way we understand them. So, where political problems arise, efforts are made to find solution to these problems. These efforts you need to not involve thought. That means that the problems with us involve or need political thoughts to be solved. There cannot be a pragmatic politics without thought. There is a well-known saying that says a point of fact: politics without or devoid of thought is the politics of madmen. That means politics without thought is politics of madmen. The discipline of political science deals with the system of understanding of both normative and empirical nature and character of politics in a political system. Political thought, on one hand, deals with the normative aspects of political science. That means in political science we find both empirical and normative approach, whereas political thought mainly deals with the aspects of normative aspects of political science. Therefore, but what does normative aspect mean? That means we are saying that political thought deals with basically with normative aspects of political science, whereas political science includes both. But what these terms mean, normative aspects mean. The central idea of normative approach to the study of politics is politics or analysis of the state or the functions of the state are to be viewed in the light of what ought to be rather than what they are. Here, what ought to be is the aspect of political thought, whereas as we see later on, what they are is the central focus of political science and also political theories. When this political thought, when it is the realization of certain universal values, norms, or principles through the machinery of the state. So empirical approach, contrary to normative approach, explains what is through observation. In an empirical approach, scholars or researchers seek to generate a hypothesis, which is proposed explanation for the phenomena that can be tested empirically. After formulating hypothesis, a study will be designed to test the hypothesis, and each approach has its own. That means both approaches, the normative approach as well as the empirical approach, has its own relevance in the study of political phenomena. I think this point is very central to the foundation, the philosophy of social science. Political thought, therefore, is an area of study in political science focused on the history and the development of political thought, socio-economic and political historical antecedent that influenced the thought and the nature of political science. And this is why we are claiming that political thought is a foundation or the core of political science. Political philosophy, on the other hand, earlier we said political philosophy and political thought are used interchangeably, but there is a difference between the two disciplines or courses. While there may be a debate over how to define politics, political science, and these terms are very important. Political generally may refer to all those institutions, activities, and practices that are concerned with government. So political means activities, practices, institutions that are concerned with government. Political philosophy is the study of the phenomenon which is political in a philosophical way. Therefore, political philosophy is the study of the phenomenon which is political in a philosophical way. Here, philosophical way implies a self-conscious, critical inquiry and interpretation of the phenomena. Such an inquiry will explore the reason of the state, raison d'etre, or the reason of the state, the nature of the state, the place of the individuals within the framework of the state. Since political element is central to political philosophy, it is an important part of the discipline of political science. Political philosophy is often seen as that branch of philosophy which is concerned at the most abstract level. Political philosophy is that branch of philosophy which is concerned at the most abstract level with the concepts and arguments involved in political opinion. Philosophy being in general terms the search for wisdom, and wisdom is about this world, man or God. The wisdom is all-inclusive, that means general in nature, and tries to explain everything. Generally, philosophy is concerned with the quest for wisdom, the quest for universal knowledge, the quest for the whole truth. That means in philosophy we study things that are general in nature, general issues, general questions, eternal, that means problems that are perennial in nature. So these are what we call philosophy and political philosophy. There is important definition here. Philosophy deals with the questions that for which we cannot find presently a clear-cut solutions. So the questions, philosophical questions, are eternal or perennial. That means they are general in nature and we cannot find presently a clear-cut solutions. So this is what philosophy is about. Philosophy is not as such a possession of truth, but it is a quest for truth. It is an inquiry for the truth. When this wisdom is applied to the study of political phenomena or the state, it is called political philosophy. It is also concerned with the right or the good political order. Here, political thought too. Political thought also is concerned with the right or the good political order. Political philosophers are generally concerned with what is accessible to an assisted human mind. So political philosophy is the attempt to truly know both the nature of the political things and the right or the good political order. Political philosophy, like political thought, belongs to the category of normative political theory. It is not concerned with the contemporary issues, but with certain universal issues in the political life of man, such as nature and the purpose of political organizations, say political community, a state, the basis of political authority, the nature of rights, liberty, justice, and etc. So these terms by nature are very universal, very broad. That means so these are subjects matter of philosophy. Political theory, again, we said also earlier, political thought is used interchangeably with political theory, but what are the differences and the similarities with political theory? The overlap is, that means the convergence and divergence between political thought and the political theory, or deviations. There are some deviations between the two terms, political theory and political thought. While political theory is a speculation of particular thinkers which may be remote from the actual facts of the time, political thought is the imminent philosophy of the whole age which determines its actions and shape its life. Political theory is therefore the systematic speculations of a particular writer who talks specifically about the phenomena of the state. This speculation is based on certain hypotheses which may or may not be valid and may be open to criticism. Theory normally provides a model of explanation of political reality as is understood by the writer. If this is granted, then one can infer that there can be different political theories of the same period. So this explanation of theory is very important. Again, political theory, when opposed to political philosophy, is a political science. That means political theory, political philosophy, and political thought are important aspects of political science. Political science is concerned with describing and explaining the realities of political behavior. Political science is concerned with describing and explaining the realities of political behavior. Similarly to political theory is also concerned with describing and explaining the realities of political behavior, generalizations about man and political institutions on empirical evidence, and the role of power in society. Political theory is concerned still with the behavior of the political phenomena from empirical point of view and describes the goals of which states, governments, societies, and citizens ought to pursue, both normative and empirical aspects. So political theory also aims to generalize about the right conduct in the political life and about the legitimate use of power. So this political theory is neither pure thought nor philosophy nor science. This means political theory mixes from all aspects, from political thought, from philosophy, and then that is political science. Even though political science is not necessarily theory, political theory constitutes important aspects of political science. While it draws heavily from all of them, yet it is distinct from them. Contemporary political theory is trying to attempt a synthesis between political philosophy and political science. Political science includes different forms of speculation in politics, such as political thought, political theory, political philosophy, political ideology, comparative. That means that why I said earlier, political theory is included in political science, whereas the scope of political science goes beyond the concepts of political theory. Since the task of theory is not only to explain the political reality, it also change it or to resist change. Political theory can be conservative, critical, and revolutionary. While political thought is the inherent philosophy of the whole age, political theory is the speculation of particular thinker. Here, this difference is very important. While political thought is the inherent philosophy of the whole age, political theory is the speculation of a particular thinker. This is a matter of scope. This means political thought is more inclusive when compared to political theory. While political thought is implicit and deep in the stream of vital action, political theory is explicit and may be detached from the political reality of a particular period. All political activities aim at either preservation or change. When desiring to preserve, we wish to prevent or change to the worse. When desiring to change, we wish to bring about something better. All political actions are guided by some thought of better or worse. The thought of better or worse implies the thought of the good. We said earlier, political thought focuses on something good, something virtuous, something rational, something common. So these are what we call about political, the subject matter of political thought. So political philosophy, political theory, and political thought. Let's see where all the concepts converge and where they diverge or when they deviate from each other. Whereas a political philosopher is a political theorist, but a political theorist may not necessarily be a political philosopher. Whereas a political philosopher is a political theorist, but a political theorist may not necessarily be a political philosopher. All political philosophy is political thought, but not all political thought is political philosophy. Again, still this is a matter of scope. So according to this explanation, political thought is more inclusive than the others, than political theory and political philosophy. Political thought is more inclusive. Then secondly, political philosophy comes, and this thirdly, political theory is more particular than the others. So political thought is is as such different to the distinction between opinion and knowledge, but political philosophy is a conscious, coherent, and relentless effort to replace opinions about the political fundamentals by knowledge regarding them. David Easton, here, this political theorist, is well known in the department of the field of political science. David Easton is known for his system theory, input, process, and output political explanations. So for David Easton, for instance, is an eminent political theorist, but it is not considered a political philosopher. Even though theory deals with the same issues as a political philosophy, it can explain them both from philosophical as well as empirical point of view. Philosophical, in a sense, from the normative point of view, and as well as from the empirical points of view. While political philosophy is abstract or speculative, political theory can be both normative and empirical. A political theorist is as much interested in explaining the nature and the purpose of the state as in describing the realities of political behavior, the actual relations between the state and the citizens, and the role of power in the society. Philosophical explanations are theories too, but they are non-scientific. So this leads us to the questions: what is science, and what is not science, and broadly again, these questions is important in the philosophy of social science. Political theory is concerned with both political institutions and the ideas and aspirations that form the basis of those institutions. Political theory is concerned with both political institutions and ideas, say for instance constitutions, laws, government institutions, and other and etc. on one hand, and also with the ideas and aspirations that form the basis, the foundations of those institutions. We can analytically distinguish between philosophy and theory. Yet, if political theory is separated from political philosophy, its meaning will appear distorted, and it will prove infertile, barren, and irrelevant. Therefore, these ideas are very important. That means political theory must be supplemented, must be supported by philosophy. While political philosophy is concerned with the normative aspects, or what ought to be, and in this sense try to achieve the ideal, political theory tries to define, describe, and explain. That means the goal of science. And for example, political theory would answer what is meant by state, but political philosophy, or again thought, would try to find which type of state is the best, which type of state is the worst, which type of the state is between the two, or which type of state is the most corrupted, and which type of the state is the best state. So these are the concerns of political philosophy and the political thought. Hence, political thought is closer to normative political theory than empirical political theory. Leo Strauss is an American scholar of political philosophy and born in Germany to the Jewish family. Leo Strauss had used the term political philosophy for normative political theory, and the term political theory for empirical accounts of political reality. Therefore, according to Leo Strauss, well-known scholar of political philosophy, American political philosopher, the term political philosophy is related to normative political theory. And the term political theory, he used the term political theory for empirical accounts of political reality. So and Strauss, Leo Strauss argued that political theory tells us only about the nature of political things, while political philosophy is a quest for wisdom. Political theory tells us about something particular, but political philosophy informs about the universe. It enables us to understand the essence of political reality, while political theory sheds light on some opinion about political phenomena. So here is today's concepts. Next, the contents of political thought. It is origin and development will be our next video. Thank you very much.